All right. Hello, everyone. I see we've already got quite a few people here on YouTube. We've got Maria, Jane, Guerma, and Evelyn. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here early. And so as you all know, I'm trying, or I think you know, I'm trying to mix my live videos so that some of them we have real talk. I can't speak correctly. Some of them will have real topics, and some of them will just be questions and answers. So a little bit more informal, not really talking about one topic, but just answering some of your questions. And because last Tuesday we talked about agree and disagree, how to use them correctly in English, today we're just going to do some questions and answers. So you all are going to ask me some questions and I am going to answer some of them. I want to be very clear. You all are going to send me a lot of very good questions, but I am just a human. It's not possible for me to read every question, and it's definitely not possible for me to answer every question. So I'm going to choose the questions that I think will benefit the most people, or the things that honestly, the things that I want to talk about. Because sometimes I see a question and I'm like, that is a good question, but I don't think I can give a very good explanation for that question. So please understand if I don't select your questions to answer, because I'm only going to answer 5 or 10. And again, this video, this live lesson is only going to be 30 minutes long because I have to leave at 6:30 to go get my wife. Let's take a look at the comments. Rhea says, it's so nice to join your live today. Thank you. This is a useful topic as well, in my opinion. Thank you, Rhea. I'm glad to hear that. Jane from Thailand says, I have never been bored to join your live. I always enjoy it. Thank you very much. Well, thank you, Jane. I'm glad to hear that. Guerma, we are good to go. Okay, very good. Evelyn and Sapito, hello, hello. Tom Perry Kazadi from DRC, hello, thank you for joining. And someone from Yemen, I cannot read your name because I cannot read Arabic. However, thank you very much for joining from Yemen. I see Zakari, hello Zakari. Bedra, hello. Abdo, hello. Kareem, good evening, Mike. Good evening, Kareem. I see someone from Georgia, the country, not the state. Hello. I can't read your name, but hello. Kevin Diaz, hello. But yeah, let's see what questions people have. I'm not going to read every hello message because we have limited time. I want to know what questions you have. But first, Zuzi R asked, what time do you have there right now? So right now it is 6 p.m. Eastern time. So that's the time in Washington, D.C., Maryland, East Coast of the United States. It's called Eastern time. So my live videos are always at 6 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesdays. Or I think that that is also 10 p.m. if you use UTC, but it's 6 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, when do we use eat and have for food? This is a question from Wisdom Voyager. If that's your real name, that's interesting, but I assume that that is not your real name. Most of the time, you can use eat or you can use have. It really doesn't matter which one you use. The only real difference is that have often focuses more on the whole experience. I actually posted about this a few days ago. If you look for the picture of me holding a plate of food, in that picture, I answered this question, but I'm still going to answer it now as well. So, eat, eat focuses only on eating, but have focuses a little bit more on the whole experience. It's like an event. Um, to eat dinner with someone sounds like you just eat the food, finished. But have dinner sounds more like you sit at the table, you eat the food, you talk to the person. It's an event, it's a social situation. However, that's not a very important difference. Most of the time, you can use either one and they mean the exact same thing. Good question. Swat, hello from Thailand. Do you use haath instead of has these days? No, we do not say haath. Haath, I don't even know when people use that, maybe like Shakespeare or something, but no, we do not say hath in modern English. We only use have, has, and had. So this question is about grammar. Could you please help me with grammar, especially how I can use the correct tense in particular situations? Thanks a lot. Okay, good question. So grammar is something that I recommend studying. You don't need to study grammar. Not everybody does. It's 100% possible. It is 100% possible to develop correct grammar without ever studying grammar. That is possible. You can learn grammar without studying it. That's possible. However, for adult language learners, so most of you are between the ages of like 23 and 65. For most of you, you will want to study grammar a little bit. The way that our brains work and learn language, it's different from how children acquire language. So children don't really need to study grammar. They can learn a language very easily just by listening, making mistakes, and playing with the language. But adults don't need to study grammar, but most of them prefer to. And if you want to improve your grammar quickly, I do recommend studying grammar. But here's the thing. You should study grammar and try to improve your grammar, but when you're speaking in a conversation, just relax and forget about it. Don't think about grammar while you are speaking, because if you have studied grammar at home, at school, in your free time, that will how do I say this? That will help you when you are in conversation. But what will not help you in conversation is when you're thinking about your grammar, because that just stops you from speaking fluently. So when you're at home and when you're in the classroom, focus on grammar, study it. But when you're speaking, forget about it. And the things that you have learned at home and in the classroom will probably happen naturally when you just relax and say what you want to say. And sometimes it won't. Sometimes your grammar will be really bad when you speak. And that's fine. In most situations, people will still understand you even if you don't use good grammar. You should try to use good grammar, but you shouldn't stress about it. And you shouldn't think about it so much that it's interrupting your fluency. So study grammar at home, use textbooks, use videos from English teachers like me, and do that at home to improve your grammar. But when you're having a conversation, don't worry about it. The other thing is that you don't need to study grammar if you don't want to. Um, so if you just listen to native speakers all the time, you will remember the correct ways to say things. You don't need to learn a bunch of rules if you just know. They say it this way. They don't say it that way. I know it's this way because I've heard 100 people say it this way, and I've never heard anyone say it that way. So if you just listen and read and watch TV every day, you're going to develop pretty good grammar, even though you are not directly studying grammar. I hope that answers your question. Thank you. Edelson Jose AJ, good evening, Teacher Mike. My name is Edelson from Angola. I would like to know what kind of books an intermediate English learner should read. So, if you are an intermediate learner, you can read almost anything that you want. It depends what your goal is. So, some people, when they read, they just want to read to practice using the language and maybe see some new grammar and review some of the words that they've already seen or heard and learned before. So if you're doing that, you can choose anything that you like, anything that interests you. Find a book and look at it. And if it looks like, oh, yeah, I can probably read this page in about 30 seconds to 2 minutes, then yeah, get that book. But if there are lots and lots and lots of words that you don't know, then the book is probably not what you want. It's probably going to be too difficult. However, if your goal is to improve your vocabulary, you want the difficult book, because the way that you improve your vocabulary is by hearing and reading new words. So when you have a book and you open it and you think, wow, I don't know 30% of these words, that is a good opportunity to learn new vocabulary. If your goal is just to enjoy reading and review some of the words you already know, no, that's not a good choice. But if you want to improve your vocabulary, it is a good choice. So you just need to know what your goals are. If your goals are to improve your vocabulary, choose a book that has lots of words that you don't know. If your goal is just to practice reading, or maybe to use the book to improve your speaking, reading it out loud, saying the words, then you want an easier book. But I can't recommend specific books for you because I don't know what you like to read about. Good question. And give me one moment. I'm a little bit thirsty. I'm talking a lot. Looking for another question. I just see a lot of hello, hello, hello. So I like this question, but just thinking about it right now quickly without preparing myself, I might not have a good answer or any good examples. Um, could you share some examples of when we must use into instead of in? And here I think this is the reason why I don't really have a good answer, is that into is used as an adverb. In is a preposition. However, in conversation, we often just use in when, if we think about the grammar, we probably should use into. So I don't have a good answer for you, but I do want to make it clear to everyone that native speakers often use in instead of into. Again, not the best answer, but I didn't prepare myself in advance to answer these questions, so I'm just trying my best. Difference between trip and travel. Um, there are many differences because trip is usually a countable noun. Like, and you say, I took a trip or I went on a trip. Whereas travel is usually a verb. Um, I traveled to India last summer. I'm going to travel to Mexico next month. Neither of those things are true. Those are just examples. Um, but that's the basic difference, is that trip is usually a countable noun and travel is usually a verb. Usually, not always, usually. And if you want a more detailed answer, I already have a video about this topic on YouTube. Well, on Facebook also. So if you go to my Facebook page or my YouTube channel, you can just search trip travel, and it should show you my video about that topic. Thank you for your question. Where is your YouTube? My YouTube is on youtube.com. You can go to YouTube and search Teacher Mike English. It's the same name as my Facebook page. On Instagram, Teacher Mike English. On TikTok, Teacher Mike English. On Facebook, Teacher Mike English. On YouTube, Teacher Mike English. It's the spaces are a little bit different on each platform, but if you search Teacher Mike English, you will see a picture of this face and you will know that is my account. Also, while we are talking about that, I want to remind everyone that if you haven't bought my ebook yet and you are interested in buying my ebook, some of you might not be interested. That's fine too. If you haven't bought it yet, it is available on teachable.com. I'm sending the link in the comments right now. So I have an ebook about how to practice speaking by yourself. So how to practice speaking even if you don't have a partner. The ebook is $5 and it should be available in most countries. I know it's not available in Cuba, but in most countries it is available if you have a credit card or Google Pay, and it's just $5. So I've sent the link in the comments for anyone who is interested. You can go check that after this video. Don't leave now. We just have 10 minutes left, so don't go anywhere. If you're interested in the ebook, you can click that link after the video is finished. Again, my ebook is about how to practice speaking by yourself, even if you don't have a partner. And the link is now in the comments. Okay, next question. I just skipped a bunch of questions because I scrolled down to see if my link was sent successfully. So sorry, I'm not going to see a lot of them, but I'm trying to find one or two more. Okay, so this question is about past simple tense and present perfect tense. These are things that I have already talked about a lot. Um, I think, and I'm mentioning this, I'm not going to explain this right now because it's a lot of information, but I want to tell you that I already have at least 5, 6, 7, 8 videos about this on Facebook and YouTube. So actually, if you go to my YouTube channel, and fine, I'll send my link for YouTube in the comments. If you go to my YouTube channel, which I just sent in the comments, I think I have a whole playlist that only has videos about present perfect tense. Let me check. Let me check right now because I think I made that, but I forget. Playlists. Yeah, so I have a whole video playlist on YouTube. And this is just videos about present perfect tense and past simple tense, what the differences are and how to use them. This playlist has 6 videos in it. I'm going to send the link to this playlist in the comments because I know this is something that will help many people. I'm not 100% sure if that link will work, but you can try it. I'm sending it right now. And if the link doesn't work, you can just go to my YouTube channel and search present perfect. Or you can go to playlists and select the playlist that says present perfect and past simple. Okay, it looks like the link worked for YouTube people, but it did not work for Facebook. I don't know why. Hmm. Okay, but anyways, if you can't find it, you can just go to my YouTube channel and search for it. Oh, now it looks like it worked. Okay, next question. We're going to do 1 or 2 more. Do you think that British Council resources are useful enough to learn English? So it's a good question, but I don't like useful enough because that sounds like you're only going to use those resources. And it's never a good idea to only use one resource. When people tell me, Teacher Mike, you're my favorite teacher, I only watch your videos, I feel like, no, that's not good. You should watch videos from other teachers too. You should never limit yourself to one resource. And here's the main thing I want to say is that they're good. I haven't looked carefully at everything that they make, but they're good. They're good. Use it. If you like it, use it. But not everybody likes everything. So most of you really like my videos, but other people hate my videos. So just find something that you like. If you like, use it. But always look for new things as well. Don't just use one resource. Good question. I see that Safa has asked about presentation skills. That's not something that I can explain very quickly right now, but I can try to talk a bit about presentation skills in a future video. I think Marlene is asking, what do you call this? This is a can. I don't know if that's your question, but yeah, this is a can. It's not a bottle. How can I speak fluently? Um, there's a lot to say about this, but the main thing is just that you need to practice speaking often. Practice speaking every day, even if it is just by yourself. And again, if you don't know how to practice speaking by yourself, I've sent the link to my ebook in the comments. And if you don't have a credit card or you don't want to spend $5, I also have a video on YouTube in which I explain the main points of the ebook. So you can search on my YouTube channel, How to Practice Speaking by Yourself, and you will find the video that explains the main points of my ebook. It doesn't explain it in as much detail. My ebook has a lot more detail, but the video does give you the basic information that you need to learn how to practice speaking by yourself. Another very important thing, if you want to speak fluently, is to stop translating. Do not translate from your first language. And for many people, that is a very difficult thing to do. And that's why I'm writing my second ebook, which is about how to think in English. Because when you think in English, you stop translating. So main pieces of advice: practice speaking every day, even if it's just by yourself. Stop translating. Try to learn to think in English. Number 4, relax. Don't worry about making mistakes because you're going to make mistakes. And when you make mistakes, nothing bad is going to happen 99% of the time. And for lots of people, the main reason that they can't speak fluently is not about their grammar. It's not about their vocabulary. It's just that they're worried about making mistakes, so they can't relax. And to speak fluently, you need to be able to relax a little bit. Good question. Okay, one more question, and then I have to go. Debbie, Jason, drink water instead of soda. Let's check the ingredients. Ingredients: carbonated water, natural flavors. It's water. I'm drinking water. Isabel, what's the difference between affect and effect? So the first one with an A, that is a verb. The second one with an E, that is a noun. So for the verb with the A, you would say something like, how does this affect me? But with the noun, you would say something like, what will the effects be? So basic answer: with an A, it's a with an A, it's a verb. With an E, it's a noun. And this is another one where I already have a whole video about this on both Facebook and on YouTube. Evelyn, I see your question, but I can't answer it quickly. I'll try to talk about that in the future. This is the last thing we're going to talk about today, and this is very important. People always say things like, I'm a beginner. How can I learn to speak English? Or I don't know where to start. And it's possible that maybe you translated this. But if you typed this yourself, you already know a lot of English. Stop telling yourself that you don't know anything. Stop telling yourself that you haven't started yet. You've already learned a lot, and you should be proud of yourself for learning how to write like this, because this is already good. Just keep going, keep doing a little bit every day. That's the main thing. There's not one place to start. It depends what you already know, what you don't know, what opportunities you have, etc. So just try to read, study, speak, and listen as much as possible every day. Every day, try to spend time reading, try to spend time speaking, try to spend time listening. That's it. Because again, you have already started. But yeah, I've got to go because I have to go get my wife. Thank you all very much for joining. I think this was fun, and I look forward to seeing everybody again next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time or 10 p.m. UTC. Also, I'm going to send you the link to my ebook just one more time for anyone who has not purchased it yet and might be interested. I'm going to send the link in the comments. But yeah, that is all for today. Thank you all very much for joining. See you next Tuesday.